Well, Terry, this is great. We actually get a chance to slow down a minute and reflect on what the last year and a half of working together, I think. So I'm really glad to be able to, to have a chance to talk with you about this. I have a couple questions for you. The first one is maybe you could describe your view of the essence of the events and presentations captain role.
Well, for me, I really like to create opportunities for people to learn something meaningful for themselves. And frankly, I'm a little bit less focused on getting people to sign the statement of principle or join the chapter than I am on helping them clarify whether BAP is really a good fit for them at this time. It's obviously a good thing that I have colleagues who are focused on those other outcomes, but it frees me up to, our events are often full of information. There's a lot of learning, there's a lot of talking, and I want to make sure that people have a chance to actually dive into that, have an experience of that, feel it, talk with other people about it. And because it makes no sense, we're not trying to persuade people to to jump on the bandwagon nearly as much as we are giving people an opportunity to learn about something that is way off most of our radar. I think people are really familiar with Citizens United and, may have their own feelings about that, but, we're all busy people. We all have businesses to run. And I think the opportunity now is for people to really see the connection between those two, and in this role to help people bridge any gaps there may be between their personal values and their professional interests, which is and then to welcome them into a community of peers who share those values. I think one of the most profound parts of this experience for me has been to find common ground around the 28th Amendment with people with whom I agree on nothing else. Politically, where we have zero in common. And it's been, especially at a time when the partisan divide is so wide and feels like every day, gets wider and wider and deeper and more, unbridgeable. Even talking about it, I can feel that there's something so deeply moving to me about being able to sit with someone and on this topic, we have common ground, we can agree. And the events and presentations that we do through BAP are ways to give people that opportunity and that experience. And, our work lives are complex, our community lives, our civic lives are complex. And to have a moment for those things to come together without the usual distractions, just for, an hour or a couple of hours. It's a pretty amazing, it's been much more of a meaningful experience for me than I ever anticipated or imagined.
Very interesting. And just as a follow-up on this one, because I'm sparked, I mean, it's clear from your description that then the events involve conversation and interaction and relationship building. Exactly. I'm wondering if any moments stand out for you as any particular events, any particular conversations stand out for you as really that energy you're just describing, right, as being that satisfying. And no expectation, but if anything comes to mind, I think it'd be interesting to share or hear.
I think for me, it really, rather than an instant, it's like this, I have this repeated experience. And as I said a moment ago, in some ways, the most exciting, surprising and opening experiences for me in all of this has been to be able to see eye to eye and speak heart to heart and really be meeting with folks like your dad, where
Interesting.
I would be very cautious about having a broad-based political conversation with him, knowing that we're very likely, our perspectives on many, many, many things are different and will get us into trouble. And I treasure the connection that we've built on the foundation of the shared values around the 28th Amendment. And having had that experience now multiple times, it's the one thing that gives me hope. On many days when I look at the newspaper and I, read what's online and I feel despair about what's happening in our country and around the world, that we can come together, that we can stand together on this one fundamental truth, that democracy matters, and that that our businesses are not, don't live in a separate universe from the one in which we live, that everything that happens in our work lives is deeply affected by and in turn affects what happens in our civic lives.
Thank you. Yes, I understand and appreciate and can feel for myself what you've just described. Very, very elegantly put. I know that you have had more of a deeper involvement in Business for American Promise than you originally envisioned. Can you share a little bit about what has driven that deeper engagement?
Right. Well, it's as busy people often say, if I'd known what I was getting into at the beginning, I would never have started. I'm not sure I would say that in this case, but I literally thought that I was going to help with some copy editing for the statement of principle. That's what I was prepared for. That's what I raised my hand for. But I got hooked very, very quickly. And as I reflected on sort of what hooked me, there were three things that really stood out.
Okay.
And the first was that it meant a lot to me to see an organization addressing issues that I care about, working at the root level, which is what I do in my consulting and leadership mentoring practice. And I'm troubled again and again by how much work in our field and work in the world lands on symptom abatement, and not on root cause. And so that's the first thing, is that American Promise and the 28th Amendment is working at the root level, and all the other issues that I care about, literally everything. I don't have to even name the list. Everybody has his and her own list, is going to be affected by what happens with runaway spending in the political arena. So the second thing that was exciting was to have my dual identities as a businesswoman and as a citizen activist, where I've long been involved on a number of issues. Those have operated often really on parallel tracks. And this has been an opportunity for them to intersect and come together. The third element is that as a first generation American, I am deeply aware that my family found safe refuge because of the democratic values enshrined in our Constitution. My support for BAP's mission is, one way that I can protect that for others.
Wow. And
I really feel so strongly that, that is in serious peril. And money in politics, again, is a fundamental way. It may not be the only way, but it is a fundamental root cause way of addressing that threat. Right. The other thing is, it was unexpected for me, and it happens now all the time when I tell people say, well, what are you up to? I haven't seen you in a while, what are you doing? How's work? What's going on? And I say, I've been spending a lot of time involved in an organization called Business for American Promise, describe what we're up to. And people to a person so sincerely thank me.
Mm.
You know, like the way that many of us feel when we meet someone who's come back from serving in the military.
Mm.
They say, thank you for your service. We say, thank you for your service. People have been saying the same thing to me.
Mm.
Thank you. Thank you for doing that
Mm.
for all of us.
Mm.
I know that what you're doing is making a difference.
Mm.
Wow. I mean, it wasn't something I was expecting. It wasn't something I was anticipating, but it is something that happens again and again.
And they're responding to it as a constructive action you're taking.
Right.
Yeah.
And that they recognize benefits all of us.
Yeah.
You know, they're so happy to hear that the business community is listening and responding and joining, and speaking up, beginning to speak up and out about this issue. It surprises people, it delights people, and ultimately it touches people in a way where they know that their lives and their interests are being cared for in some way. And I mean, I have people bowing to me, thanking me, from all walks of life. It's really quite a remarkable experience.
It's almost like you said earlier, of this is uplifting for you. In a way, it sounds like it's giving encouragement to others.
It does.
Really.
It does. Well, my sense of, hey guys, there's a place that we can stand together. Mm-hmm. There's a way that we can address these issues, you know, at the root. It is, it's inspiring. It gives people some hope. I mean, of course, people are skeptical, and some people, you know, how long that's a fool's errand, or how long is that going to take? But the vast majority of people are, wow, I had no idea that was happening. You know, some of them want more information. Some of them want to know how they can get involved and they can sign. But it's really, again, my goal in sharing is just to share. I'm very confident that people will come when they know
the root, and what this is about.
What this is
very
about,
interesting.
How they can make a difference.
Right.
Everybody wants to make a difference.
Sorry. What you're reminding me of is, I spoke with someone recently who says, well, you know, that's a 10-year project. I'm like, yeah, and we're 4 years in. So let me go to my last question. This is a little bit more tactical. So could you offer your top guidance, tips for a business person considering joining or starting a BAP chapter, potentially being on the leadership team, and maybe specifically someone considering being an events or presentation captain?
Well, I would say for the former, that, as we all know, busy people get more things done. So however busy you are, don't worry about it. You're going to find time and make time. You'll just be more efficient. But, you know, the relationships that we've built as a leadership team have been really nurturing and sustaining for me, beyond BAP. You know, it's, I really feel like I've expanded my outlook in a lot of ways. So that's been very satisfying. I think for the events and presentation captain, look, if you enjoy bringing people together, you're a natural for this role. Invite a few friends and colleagues to join you on the leadership team, to join your work group. You know, many hands make quick work, but you'll have fun, you'll expand your network, and you really make a difference that matters to you, that matters to your community, and that matters to the country. It's kind of hard to think of a better way to spend one's time in a volunteer activity, you know, and fulfilling one's civic, you know, answering the call that I think we all have to participate in a meaningful way in our communities. You know, events, and presentations, if you're good at it, if you like people, it's not a very complicated job. And but to be able to learn, combine that with this material that we've put together, the educational piece, once, you know, people have kind of integrated what this is and made sense for themselves and found their own language, then you really want to bring people together. It's an easy job when it's the right fit. So
Fantastic.
I encourage the, you know, you don't have to be a party person, but definitely, you know, yeah, I think you have to be an extrovert to do the events role. Some of the others not so much, but it's a great opportunity to be of service and watch other people get lit up in the way that we're lit up and the way that you'll be lit up when you grasp how important this is and how clearly we're on a path to bringing this change home.